New Carrington Master Plan. To the residents and employees of Ashton-on-Mersey, Carrington, Flixton, Partington, Sale West, Urmston and Warburton, please watch this short video to find out the implications for you. What do we have today? Carrington Moss boasts many ecosystem services benefits, including a 335-hectare peat moss, Grade 2 agricultural land, woodland and wetland habitats. It is the breeding and feeding ground for over 25 red-listed birds and a number of endangered wildlife creatures. The wetland areas are great for capturing and storing extensive volumes of water, preventing local flooding. And of course, the air is clean and fresh. This is why we all want to make the most of the opportunities available on the moss to make us fitter and healthier. Sadly, Trafford plans to concrete over more or less the whole area with housing, warehousing and roads. This graphic shows the plans for the area. The yellow will be housing, the blue will be warehouses, and there will be 4 major new roads in total. There are currently no plans to resurrect the former railway line, nor for freight traffic to use the Manchester Ship Canal. Please don't be fooled by what looks like a green corridor. It is not really green, and we will not be able to access most of it. Although there has been some development already, there are currently many health and well-being activities carried out on and across the green space. You don't have to be a member of one of the elite sports clubs to use the facilities on Carrington Moss. New Carrington will be the largest development in the GMCA's Places for Everyone plan. So far, over 1,200 houses/apartments have been built or have planning permission within the allocation area, red line. A further 900 homes also have planning permission in the immediate surrounding areas, circa 300 affordable. Approximately 250,000 square metres of employment units have been built, predominantly warehousing. The next stage will mean farmers will lose their homes and livelihoods. Residents will no longer be able to walk, cycle and horse ride in a safe, healthy and pleasant environment, breathing clean air and not worrying about vehicle traffic. The loss of our green belt, our Grade 2 agricultural land, our woodland and our wetlands will mean that we also lose the water capture capabilities, which could increase local flooding, the nature restoration opportunities, which will reduce carbon capture and wildlife habitats, and local food production, which future generations may be reliant on. So, our green belt, our Grade 2 agricultural land, our woodland and our wetland will be replaced by another 3,800 houses, of which just 15% will be affordable, a further 100,000 square metres of warehousing units, and 4 major new roads. The health and well-being of local residents and wildlife will be impacted by the huge increases in air, noise, light, vibration and water pollution, to say nothing of the carbon emissions. That will be a total of 5,000 additional houses/apartments and approximately 350,000 square metres of warehousing and industrial units within the allocation area alone. Yet there is no commitment to build any new schools in the allocation area within the red line. And, whilst there is a list purporting to propose additional sustainable passenger transport options and active travel improvements, the response to our Freedom of Information Act request suggested that there are no plans to improve public transport in this area. As a consequence, traffic levels will significantly increase during school drop-off and pick-up times, as parents and children are forced to travel to other areas by car. Despite the Council declaring a climate emergency in 2018 and producing a carbon-neutral action plan in 2020, there are no plans for any sustainable freight transport options, despite the huge numbers of HGVs that will be travelling on local roads, more than 3,000 per day once the new employment units are operating at full capacity. It's not difficult to see that there will be a major issue at the junction of Banky Lane and on the Spur Road. The transport strategy predicts that 75% of the traffic from the new developments will be heading towards that junction. We believe the list of necessary transport interventions for New Carrington will cost in excess of £400 million. The public money to be spent on new roads could be spent on projects that have been promised in the past but have never been delivered. There is a better, more sustainable approach to transport requirements that will actually benefit the residents of this area. In Trafford's Local Plan 2012, they proposed a bridge across the Ship Canal. This would give freight transport an alternative route to the M60 and M6. The bridge would also give freight traffic access to Port Salford, where a new rail/canal freight terminal is to be built. This takes freight off the road and onto ships and trains. Residents want to see the railway bridge and the railway line between Timperley and Earlham reopened. This would give residents access to national rail lines and facilitate a train link between Earlham and Altrincham. Finally, residents would like to have access to free community transport, particularly in deprived areas where there are clear examples of transport poverty. Partington, for example, has a much lower rate of car ownership, 27.2% of households with no cars or vans, according to Census 2021, compared to other areas. What can you do? If you envisage a transport strategy that is agreed in 2024 to be drafted in collaboration with local residents, be focused on sustainable transport options, support a reduction in air, noise, light vibration and water pollution and carbon emissions, reduce congestion and induced traffic, then let your local councillor know that Trafford's transport strategy for New Carrington does not meet your expectations. Also, please support the Friends of Carrington Moss. They need your help to raise funds to meet the fees for their legal and professional advice as they try to save this precious green space for future generations of users. You can join their 200 Club via their website. It is just £22 for a year's subscription, less than £2 per month, and you will have the chance of winning one of 3 cash prizes each month for the 12-month period. They usually do their monthly draw at their online public meetings. If you prefer, you can make a small donation via your bank to Friends of Carrington Moss, Lloyds Bank business account, sort code 309897, account number 641-72268. If you find it easier to give a cash donation, please email friendsofcarringtonmoss@gmail.com so they can arrange that with you. Please also encourage others to donate a small amount using your own social media, emails and in-person requests. It would also be really helpful if you can like and share FOCM posts on social media to ensure they reach the widest possible audience. Thank you for watching.